Good morning. I'm Mikayla Hamilton, and it's my privilege to represent Christopher Schurr. Let go of the taser. Let go of the taser. Drop the taser. Those are the final commands that Officer Schurr gave to Mr. Loyola before he was forced to make a decision he hoped never to have to make. What you'll learn from the evidence in this case and throughout this trial is this is not the murder case that the prosecution purports this to be. This case is about self-defense, which is, as the judge will explain, is a justification to murder. The prosecution will try to paint this as something it's not. They'll use words like excessive, unnecessary. They'll call Chris Schurr a murderer for doing the very job we asked him to do, for protecting the citizens of Grand Rapids and for protecting himself. And the evidence will show that this was not murder. This was self-defense. This is about a man who is doing his job as a peace officer, a man who took an oath to protect, to defend, to run towards danger when others run away. The evidence will show that Officer Christopher Schurr did everything he could to avoid using deadly force, even after being disarmed of his taser. He fought with Mr. Loyola for over a minute to try to get his taser back. And you'll see he tries to turn it off. And when he couldn't, when he lost all control, he was forced to make a split-second decision, one he hoped never to have to make. He didn't choose to take a life. He chose to save his own. And we trust that after hearing all of the evidence, after hearing all of the facts, the evidence will show that Christopher Schurr is not guilty. He is not guilty of any crime and must be acquitted of all charges because he followed his training, he followed the law, and he did everything he had to do to survive. So, I want to take you back to that day, April 4th of 2022. It started as an ordinary day. 31-year-old Christopher Schurr woke up around 4 a.m., which wasn't unusual. Chris was used to working hard. He earned a full-time scholarship to Siena Heights University, and he was a 5-time All-American cross-country athlete. He was born and raised in Byron Center, where he met his high school sweetheart and now wife, Brandy, who is here with him today. Chris and Brandy were heavily involved in their church, frequently attending mission trips to Kenya, which is where they chose to get married. Chris and Brandy have always been devoted to helping others. So, around 4:30 on that Monday morning, and before going to work as a Grand Rapids police officer, Chris kissed his wife Brandy and their dog Arrow goodbye, telling them he loved them. And Chris arrived at the station around 5 a.m., roughly 30 minutes before his shift started. He always liked to get there early to make sure he was prepared for the day ahead. And when Chris put on his uniform, he became Officer Schurr. And that day, just like every other day, Officer Schurr had one job and one priority: to protect the people of Grand Rapids. He had no idea that within a few hours, he would end up in a fight for his life. Around 8 a.m. on that cold and rainy Monday morning, Officer Schurr was patrolling the southeast side of Grand Rapids. While driving down Kalamazoo Avenue, he noticed a Nissan Altima ahead of him driving unusually slow. And when he ran the license plate, it came back registered to a Ford Fiesta, not the Nissan Altima driving ahead of him. As soon as Officer Schurr realized the plates didn't match the car, he turned around and started following the car. And you'll see the video evidence, and the video will show that the car made two abrupt right turns, one right and another right. And you'll hear that that is a common sign to police officers that that person is potentially trying to evade arrest. And as soon as the car stops, before Officer Schurr is able to get out of the car, you'll see that Mr. Loyola jumps out of the car immediately, instead of staying inside like everyone else does when they're pulled over. And because of that, Officer Schurr jumped out of his car and immediately commanded him to get back in the car, just like he's trained to do. But the driver failed to comply. And this is a common theme throughout this case. Because Grand Rapids police officers are trained to consider failure to comply. Ask yourself why. As you'll hear, failure to comply with a police officer's lawful commands automatically escalates the situation, raises safety concerns, and creates a reasonable belief that this person could be a potential threat. Ask yourself, why was the plate registered to a different vehicle? Why did the car make two abrupt right turns? Why is the driver exiting after coming to a full stop? When Mr. Loyola jumped out of the car, it signaled to Officer Schurr that this could become dangerous very quickly. But despite this, you'll see that Officer Schurr stays calm. He gives the driver the benefit of the doubt and continues with routine stop protocol, asking Mr. Loyola for his license. But instead of cooperating, you'll see Mr. Loyola evaded questions and demanded to know what he did wrong. Officer Schurr confirmed that Mr. Loyola spoke English and calmly explained that the plates didn't match the car. Finally, after the 7th request for a driver's license, you'll see the driver pats his pockets. And then he says he has a license in the car. And he asks the passenger of the vehicle to get it. And you'll see that the passenger could produce a license. And then Mr. Loyola abruptly shuts the door and starts walking away from Officer Schurr. Again, failure to comply. Ask yourself why. Why isn't the driver providing the license? Why did he shut the door and walk away? And you'll hear that officers are trained that when someone tries to distance themselves from a car, it could mean that there's contraband, weapons, or other items inside the car that they don't want the officer to see. All signals raise concerns from the start of the traffic stop. But once Mr. Loyola failed to produce a license, Officer Schurr attempted to place him under arrest. He ordered Mr. Loyola to put his hands behind his head so he could arrest him. But Mr. Loyola continued to ignore his commands. And you will hear that Officer Schurr gave over 29 lawful commands. 29. Ladies and gentlemen, that's 29 chances that Mr. Loyola had to change his outcome safely. Sorry, hit the screen. And you'll see that Mr. Loyola doesn't just ignore Officer Schurr's commands. He resists, he pushes, he shoves, he broke free, and he runs. And then you'll see that he fought, and fought, and fought. Mr. Loyola continued to escalate the situation by failing to comply with Officer Schurr's lawful commands. He created a danger not only to Officer Schurr, but to the citizens of Grand Rapids. And like you heard, he was running towards two strangers' houses. He didn't know them. He was running towards their houses after he had just resisted arrest, after he had pushed an officer, after he had shoved an officer. Officer Schurr didn't know what he was going to do or who he could harm if he let him go. As Mr. Loyola called for backup, as Mr. Loyola ran away, Officer Schurr called for backup, and a short chase ensued, and Officer Schurr tackled him to the ground at a stranger's home, who you'll learn was Wayne Butler and Fred Hunter. Meanwhile, you see the passenger exit the car and start recording on his cell phone. And ladies and gentlemen, ask yourself what Officer Schurr knew about the passenger at this time. You'll see there's no interaction between them. He didn't know who the passenger was or why he was getting out of the car. He didn't know if he was armed. He didn't know if he would join the fight. Officer Schurr wrestled with Mr. Loyola in the wet and slippery grass, and the struggle with Mr. Loyola escalated quickly. Officer Schurr tried multiple physical maneuvers as he was trained, but nothing worked. Mr. Loyola was overpowering, and he couldn't get him down. You'll see Mr. Loyola was bigger than Officer Schurr. He was stronger than Officer Schurr, and he kept resisting. And you'll see Mr. Loyola get up off the ground 3 times with Officer Schurr on his back. One of them, from a completely prone position on the ground, he does a push-up like it's nothing with Officer Schurr on his back. And you're going to hear that Mr. Loyola had a blood alcohol content of 0.29, 4 times the legal limit, which would help explain why it was so hard to get him to stop resisting. You'll hear Mr. Loyola yell to the passenger 3 times to get the keys. Officer Schurr called for backup again, expecting an emergency response. But no help came. He was left exhausted and alone. You'll hear him on the video, panting and wheezing for air. Throughout this entire encounter, Officer Schurr was following his training. He was following his training, he was following his policy. And after trying to get control of Mr. Loyola to no avail, Officer Schurr had to move up to a higher level of force, since nothing else had worked. So he reached for another tool on his belt, the taser. A less lethal, not non-lethal, when in the hands of a trained police officer. A less lethal weapon. And you'll hear the taser can be converted to a deadly weapon, especially when used by an untrained person. And you'll hear all of the warnings that police officers are given. And you heard the prosecution talk about some of those warnings, some of those critical areas to avoid. Police officers are trained on how to use the taser to avoid causing serious bodily injury or death to people. But you will hear it is dangerous, it can cause serious bodily harm, and even death. When Officer Schurr drew the taser across his body, he aimed for Mr. Loyola's back, exactly as he was trained. When suddenly Mr. Loyola spun around and squared up to him, and in an instant, Officer Schurr was faced with the worst case scenario. Mr. Loyola grabbed the taser, and once he grabbed it, you'll see he never let it go. And this is the moment that changed everything. Desperate and alone, still with no signs of backup, you'll hear that as soon as Mr. Loyola grabbed the taser, Officer Schurr was flooded with fear because he knew what it felt like. It causes excruciating pain, incapacitation. It can drop an officer to the ground in seconds. But this fear wasn't just about the pain. This fear was about what could happen next. If Mr. Loyola tased him, he could take his firearm and shoot him with his own weapon, which is something officers are trained to consider. If he went down, he would be defenseless, and his gun would be right there for the taking. And his training was clear. If someone takes your weapon, they'll use it against you. And despite what the prosecution tries to say, the taser, this is not a toy. You will hear it provides and delivers thousands of volts of electricity, causing your muscles to lock up, causing you to be incapacitated. You'll hear the taser can injure you in 3 different ways. As the prosecutor mentioned, neuromuscular incapacitation in probe mode. The drive stun causes extreme pain. And once the taser probes have been discharged, you'll hear that the taser wires can shock you. So not only is this weapon something that causes serious bodily injury, it can lead to potential death when used improperly. And the biggest risk to police officers is that once someone has your taser, if they use it against you, you will be left defenseless. And Mr. Loyola had yet to comply with any of Officer Schurr's commands. And you'll hear that Mr. Loyola never complied with one. And the evidence will show that Officer Schurr was unaware that the second cartridge had even been discharged. He didn't know it could only be used in drive stun mode. And frankly, it doesn't matter, because even in drive stun mode, the taser can cause serious bodily injury. The prosecution will try to downplay this. They'll try to say it's not that harmful.
I'm going to object that she's arguing now, Your Honor. This is not for her to argue against my case, it's to present her case.
I would sustain that being a bit argumentative. Ms. Hamilton, tone it down a little bit. Thanks.
Throughout this trial, the evidence will show that the taser is a dangerous weapon that can cause serious bodily injury or death. Period. The law doesn't ask an officer to wait until they're injured, incapacitated, or shot to act. And you'll hear from our experts and other police officers that officers are trained that action beats reaction. You will hear how quickly officers are trained. Someone can turn on them and injure them with a weapon. It's faster than they can respond. And throughout this trial, the only question for you to answer is whether or not Officer Schurr's fear was reasonable. And the prosecution cannot meet its burden that it was unreasonable for Officer Schurr to be afraid of Mr. Loyola after he disarmed him of his taser, gaining full control of it, trying to fight to get it back for over a minute, regardless of the mode. The moment that Mr. Loyola grabbed the taser changed everything. With Officer Schurr's heart pounding, his only thought was clear. I have to get the taser back now so I can arrest him. For over a minute, he fought and fought and fought to get it back. He shouted, "Let go of the taser," again and again and again. Officer Schurr tried everything he could to stop it. He tried to turn it off, but Mr. Loyola's hand blocked the safety. And then, when Officer Schurr looked down, he saw Mr. Loyola holding the taser in his hand like a firearm. And he felt him getting up off the ground again with the taser in his hand, turning up towards him. And in that split second, he had to ask himself the most terrifying question someone can ever ask. Am I about to die? If he didn't act in that moment, he was afraid that he wouldn't make it home that night. So, Officer Schurr, completely out of breath, with no signs of backup on the way, with no other viable options, yelled out one final verbal command to drop the taser. And Mr. Loyola failed to comply. Now, throughout this trial, as you're viewing all the evidence, ask yourself, why would Mr. Loyola let go of the taser if he didn't plan to use it? Why would Mr. Loyola switch it from his left to his right hand? And you'll see this in the video. Why would he do that if he didn't intend to use it? Why would he keep holding on to it after every command to let it go? Why was he holding it like a gun while getting up and turning towards Officer Schurr? The only question for you to decide is whether Officer Schurr's belief of danger in that moment was reasonable. And you'll hear from our experts, absolutely. It was reasonable. Throughout this trial, you'll hear from several experts. You'll hear about Officer Schurr's training as a Grand Rapids police officer. You'll hear how an exhausted officer would be after fighting for over 2.5 minutes. You'll hear why it would be reasonable for Officer Schurr not to hear the second cartridge go off when you're in the middle of a hand-to-hand fight with someone for over 2.5 minutes. What you hear is an eternity when you are fighting for your life. And you'll hear from several of our experts why Officer Schurr was justified in using deadly force. And you'll also hear from the people's experts, including from the taser manufacturer itself. And they'll attest that the taser can cause serious bodily injury or death when used improperly, especially by an untrained and unlicensed person. You'll also hear from the People's Police Practices experts, a law professor from South Carolina, who was a police officer 20 years ago. You'll also hear from their expert from New Mexico, a police officer from New Mexico. So when you hear from these experts, ask yourself, what are they about?
Check, Your Honor, she's arguing again in terms of commenting on our experts. That's not what she's proving, is what...
So I'll sustain that as well.
When you hear from all of the experts, consider what they're relying on. And at the end of the trial, the judge will instruct you on what the law is and what you must consider based on what Officer Schurr knew and how Officer Schurr was trained. And the law says that a police officer is allowed to use deadly force if he honestly and reasonably believes that he is in danger of serious bodily injury or death. And when you're answering that question, you must consider this from the perspective of an ordinary and prudent person with the knowledge and in the situation of the arresting officer. So when you're considering all of the evidence, when you're hearing from all of the experts about police practices and the use of force, remember this. This is what you'll have to consider. What Officer Schurr knew. What he was trained. The law does not require perfection. It doesn't ask for hindsight. And when you're considering your verdict, you cannot sit here as a Monday morning quarterback from the safety of the jury box with unlimited time and hindsight. You're not here to judge what Officer Schurr should have or could have done. You're here to judge what he did in that split-second moment based on what he knew, based on what he felt, based on his training and his experiences. Now, a man died, and that's a tragedy. But not every tragedy is a crime. And not every death means someone has to be penalized. And self-defense is not a crime. You'll see a lot of video evidence throughout this trial. And we'll go through that with you step by step. And there's a lot of information in the video that we will point out that you may not have seen from the first few watches. And as you watch the video, ask yourself whether or not Officer Schurr had a reasonable belief to be in fear of danger, of serious bodily injury or death. Ask yourself, did Patrick Loyola disarm Officer Schurr of his taser? And did he eventually obtain full control of that taser? Ask yourself, did Officer Schurr try to get that taser back? And did he believe that the taser could cause him harm? And the evidence will show that Mr. Loyola was driving a car with the wrong plates. There's no dispute that this was a lawful stop. And then he ignored over 29 lawful commands. 29. You'll see he pushed, shoved, resisted arrest, and then he fought and fought and fought. And then he attempted to disarm and did disarm Officer Schurr of his taser, an inherently dangerous weapon. And you'll hear, he was nearly 4 times the legal limit, unfazed by pain. So it's your job throughout this trial to decide whether Officer Schurr's belief that he was in danger was reasonable. And the prosecution, in this case, has the sole burden. They have the sole burden of proof. And the judge will talk to you a little bit more about this at the end of the trial. And it's the prosecution's burden to prove all of the elements of the crime, and also to prove that Officer Schurr was not justified, that he was not in fear. It's not our job to prove anything. It's not our job to convince you he was afraid. It's the prosecution's job to convince you that he was not afraid, that his belief was not reasonable, that it wasn't reasonable for him to be in fear after he was disarmed of his taser, after fighting for over 2.5 minutes. And after you see what Officer Schurr went through, after you hear from our experts, ask yourself, is the prosecution proven beyond one single reasonable doubt that this wasn't self-defense? Because if there's any doubt, the law is clear. In a criminal case where one's liberty is at stake, the Constitution demands something far more: proof beyond a reasonable doubt. So if there's even one doubt in your mind, you must find Officer Schurr not guilty. Not guilty of all charges. And at the end of this trial, we trust that after hearing all of the evidence, you'll understand that this was not murder. This was survival. This was self-defense. And we will trust that you will return the only verdict that reflects the truth: that Officer Schurr is not guilty of any crime and must be acquitted of all charges. Thank you.